Whoa, what's that? Pat's not there. Here I am. I managed to go completely wireless with the Rode Wireless Go Pack. It's not a sponsored spot. I just wanted to let you guys know I'm having a bit of fun with this. I can now walk around the area and not be tied down by the wires. I'm gonna give you guys a review of this because some of you might be interested, some of you might not be, but it's pretty darn cool. And I got it in Australia, it's Australian made, which is even more exciting. So friends, let's get into today's video. Hello, hope you are all well. Hope you enjoyed the opening game of the Rugby World Cup 2019. Russia and Japan played very well, and Russia got to score the first try, though ultimately losing. At least it's something of a win for them. Now, something that you might have noticed in the last few days if you were streaming the game is that there is now a little bit of latency. Unfortunately, the ACMA 3 cable that connects Asia, Europe to Australia has been cut. Not on purpose, but either way, same outcome. It's down and out for the count with no date of a fix. This cable is one of the major cables connecting us to Asia, and because the Rugby World Cup is in Japan, it's kind of like losing the biggest highway to get there. What does that mean? Well, while traffic gets routed to other cables, you might notice a little bit of latency. I have noticed slower speeds when you download Steam games and Battle.net games, but apart from that, actually you shouldn't really notice that much of an issue. Let me know in the comments below if you have noticed that in the last few days, things have gone very slow for you. In any case, let's get into some news. We have ACMA news and we have a lot of NBN news. So what's going on this week? Well, let's start off with ACMA. Let me catch my breath. The Australian Communication and Media Authority, ACMA, has taken action against Sydney-based telco Infinity Telecom for breaching industry rules, requiring them to have mandatory information for consumers available on their website. Naughty, naughty. Look, sounds oddly familiar. The last time we heard ACMA going after telcos was when they were falsely advertising NBN speeds that the users could never attain. Now, most of the advertising was around the speed attaining during peak times, or rather the average evening speeds. Now all the plans you get to see the potential evening speeds before you buy. I mentioned last week that I sorted out my dad's NBN connection with a provider who I'm not going to name, who was not able to provide the speeds advertised during peak times. For a quick update, I'd like to let you know that my threat to cancel the contract has led to an instant rectification of the problem. Look, what happened is in the past week, all of a sudden, after that email, the speeds are back up to advertised numbers, the evening advertised numbers that is. I was a bit taken back. They were saying it's our fault, our modem, well, our modem that they supplied, but in any case, they managed to fix it in 1 week, or at least switch the switch on for our internet. Anyway, now the investigation into Infinity Telecom has found they failed to provide summarized information about typical busy period speeds, online usage levels, and technical limitations for NBN plans, or have complaint handling processes on its website. Basically, there was no way to get in touch and say, hey, I'm having a bit of a problem. Now, most websites do have that little link in the bottom now, and it's still not that easy to find. Now, being a small telco should not let you off the hook for misleading or not providing the correct information to your customers. So I'm actually quite glad that ACMA took this seriously and took action. And just to tie this story up, the fines can range up to $10 million for not following the standards of the ACMA standards and TCP code. Something to think about next time you want to change something on your website. Okay, that was the starter. Let's get into the main course. NBN prices, plans, speeds, and utter lies, or basically tricks. I don't want to be too dramatic, but it's ridiculous how awkward NBN's choices are getting. NBN Co has modified their plans. There are now 4 plans or options to choose from that have been slated to provide higher speeds to customers all around Australia. Sounds like a positive thing? It's not. Now, before we get into the speeds, I want to highlight a few problems with this. First off, changing plans does not change how fast your connection is. Remember that. Just because you go on a higher plan doesn't mean that you will get better speeds. Most of the time, you are hamstrung by the type of connection you have. If you are on fiber to the node, the 100 down and 40 up, and the new 100 down and 20 plans are for the lucky few. Your line defines how your max speed is, and therefore what plan you should logically choose. So NBN Co's newly proposed 100 down 20 up plan is designed to appeal to the 65% of consumers currently signed up to the nation's most popular speed tier, the Standard Plus NBN 50. Now this is their 50 down 20 up plan. However, this is just a cop-out plan to fit between the 140 to the 50/20 to get some people who are not willing to pay that premium jump but are willing to pay slightly more to buy. It's a pure cash grab to fit some people in between to get a little bit more money out of its customers. And NBN Co has also brought back from the grave the 12 and 1 tier plan, meaning that those who just want basic access can once again sign up at a slightly lower cost. Now, you may remember that those plans were scrapped because it costs more to provide that connection than the consumer was paying. Look, for many, the 12 and 1 should be faster than ADSL, so they say. However, the truth is that many folks on ADSL have been getting higher speeds than that for years. And in fact, the connections have been more stable. So what has changed with that plan? Well, the recent NBN pricing changes means there's no longer much of a discount to be had by picking the NBN 12 plan. The unlimited data NBN 12 and NBN 50 plans both start at $59 per month. But if you still want the 12 and 1 plan, you can still go on the 500 gigabyte limited one for about $49. So that's $10 less, but still $49. Well, look, the NBN 50 plan is literally 4 times faster. Why would anyone bother with the 12 and 1? Let me know in the comments below if $49 is an acceptable entry-level cost for internet, or actually for the NBN. This is now an essential service. Now, let's just quickly summarize those evening speeds for you guys. If you are on the 12, you get 7 in the evening. If you are on the 25, you get 15. If you're on the 50, you might get 30. And if you're on the 100, you're lucky to get 60. Now, interestingly enough, I have actually been getting 60 on Aussie Broadband anytime it's been very popular. But in fact, that's the worst speed I've ever seen. Most of the time, 80% of the time, I see about 70. So something to note about these numbers, your mileage may vary. Now, if you can't even attain, let's say, 7 on the lowest plan, you're not gonna get any better during peak hour. Now, luckily the Netflix tax has been scrapped for now. Do expect it to pop up again in some point, and maybe they'll call it the internet tax or something, because I doubt Netflix will be the biggest culprit as dozens of streaming services get spun up and grow, and many people will sign up to these. At the moment, it takes about $180 to $200 to sign up to all these streaming services, and that's per month on top of your, let's say, $50 or $60 a month NBN. What we should note is that at the moment, Australia doesn't have a net neutrality law that is solid and in place. All traffic is actually not treated equally, but generally speaking, most telcos do, though they don't have to. As the NBN grows in its speed, hopefully, and access to Australia is probably due for one now to stop things like the Netflix tax in the future. Let me know in the comments below if net neutrality law should be set in place for Australia. It's going to be an emerging topic, and I believe, and I talked about this a few months back actually, we really need one for Australia. Furthermore, some interesting news have popped up about our traffic light infrastructure. That could scare a lot of folks who have been on the NBN and are getting poor internet service. So it seems that operators of traffic signals or automatic teller machines and a range of other specialized devices can now connect to select services over the NBN through their RSPs. This is an extension of NBN's mission to expand their enterprise division. Now, a few weeks back, we discussed their leap into selling directly to businesses, and I want to clarify that they have to sell their services at the same standard price as the rest of the RSP, so they're not really getting a better deal, but their differentiating factor is the service, hopefully, and the name that you're coming from NBN. Now, NBN Co will allow non-residential, non-business connections to connect to the NBN network. Think infrastructure that doesn't have a billing address. Now, Typically operated by the government and commercial organizations, these types of specialized systems include traffic lights, traffic cameras, roadside emergency points, rail boom gates, street light controllers, certain types of CCTV, standalone automatic teller machines, environmental sensors, and actually public transport infrastructure. Now, initially available across NBN Co's fiber to the node footprint, network extensions will allow infrastructure operators to consolidate their connectivity requirements on the NBN network, providing what NBN Co says is operational simplicity and new opportunities for automation, innovation, and the world of Internet of Things. Now, some of these connections could be done over 5G because that's what 5G is touted to be, an Internet of Things conglomerate. As with many remote things, it's easier to connect to a wireless network, then that's when 5G could actually be really useful. For those on fiber and HFC, you're in luck. NBN Co is looking to provide gigabit plans and reduce prices starting at around $80 to households with fiber and HFC. Now, I would say that those on fiber will get much more out of this deal, but maybe with the right HFC connections, you could too. Now, how have they got the 1 gigabit down plans to be under $100? Well, they cut the uplink. As always, there is a catch. The new up to 1000 megabits per second and 50 up bundle discounts is about 55% cheaper than the previous $180 effective charge for the 1000 down 400 up bundle. So by cutting your upload speed to just 50, you could tap into those higher download speeds. Now, all this shows to me is that we could have had a fantastic fiber network that could be 10x the speed anytime, any day, showing how flexible that network type really is, that cable type. And really, it just makes me sad on the inside how good we could have had. Anyway, for many of us, it's only just a dream. Friends, thank you very much for watching. If you like this video, then tap that like button. If you want to see more, consider subscribing to our channel. And to our current subscribers, thank you very much for your ongoing support. I highly appreciate it. So thanks for watching, and I'll catch you another one. Bye!